Hello and welcome back to Speed Build Sunday. This week we have a little bit of a different build because this build is actually the home for my Teen Legacy Challenge here on my YouTube. I've been doing a Runaway Teen Legacy Challenge, which started off as the Runaway Teen Challenge with like a teen sim who is living on their own, and it kept going and it turned into a Legacy Challenge because it was when Growing Together was coming out that I was finishing it. So it's now a legacy challenge, so we're giving them a new house because they need a new house because they've been living in a micro home. I think it's a micro home. It might be a small, tiny home. I don't know. But they've lived in a really small house with a lot of money for a while. So I was like, it's time to have a bigger house. They had one kid already, and she's currently pregnant with another. That was an accident, I think, sort of. So we needed a bigger house. So here's a bigger house. However, I should have changed the lot. I should just have them move to a different lot instead of like doing this lot because it's so much, such a small lot. But it's fine. It worked out pretty well. There's not a huge backyard space, but honestly, that's fine. I don't use a lot of backyard space. This build's also going to be different than a lot of other speed builds that you'll see me do because one, I had a budget to work with that could continue to grow as I do the challenge. So there are things missing. It's not super decorated. It's not super decorated, but I can add to it as we go on, as we make more money because we had about 36,000 simoleon budget around that, sort of, maybe 40,000. So I really had to work on the budget, and I accidentally ended up making the house way too big for that because, as you'll see later, everything gets very sparse as we get into actually, doing the interior because I just didn't have enough money. So it ends up really empty on the inside, but that's okay. I also, when I do my gameplay houses, I don't make the interior very busy. Like, I don't really like having super cluttered homes and interiors and like crazy alt placed items and all the debug and like all that stuff because it's not for vibes in this house or in like my gameplay houses. It's for functionality, and most of my builds that are not for functionality, so I have to do a lot to make it work for my gameplay. So you'll see later that it ends up being very empty, and like I swear it will change. I'll add stuff as we go, as my Sims do stuff, but it's really empty at the start because I'm not good with building on a budget, and it's challenging for me. Also, this floor plan was a challenge. Like, I don't know why I struggled with it so much, and then I just kept making the house bigger to make the floor plan work and like making the greenhouse bigger, and I ran out of, like, I'm so out of space on the lot too, but it turned out pretty well. I don't know if my greenhouse is functional. I'll have to wait and see when I film the next episode of the Legacy Challenge, which might be later today, so we'll see if it's actually functional because there's a small chance that it's not. But I don't know how. When I garden in my Sims, like whenever I have my Sims garden, I rarely have them use the gardening beds, so I don't know how that impedes functionality. So we're gonna find out together when I film the next episode. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Usually also when I'm doing builds, I have a really hard time picking out windows, especially recently. However, these windows just worked so well with the house. And I also feel like this house looks so generic compared to all of my other houses because I'm using it for gameplay. So I wanted it to just feel like functional over like fashion and vibes, but it's very weird. It's very weird because I never build for functionality. Like I said, I never build for functionality. I don't do a lot of gameplay, and I also don't do much building outside of like one house for my challenge. Like the last Let's Play challenge that I had on my stream or on my YouTube was the 100 challenge, and I had one house that I built in like the second episode, and I used that for the entire time. It was a tiny home. I used it for the entire challenge, and I refused to change it because one, I liked the perks, and two, I just didn't want to build another house. I actually did build another house at one point. I kept saying that I was going to build another house. I built another house on my stream, and I ended up not using it. I just never found a good point to swap over, and I just decided I liked my house and just gave it a little bit of a makeover instead. Also, you can see that the landscaping is a little funky here in the front. It's because there's a basement underneath this part of the house. I really want to have a basement because I really want our kids to have sleepovers in the basement. I thought that would be really, really cute to like have them have sleepovers with their sleeping bags and snacks and friendship bracelets and games and movies and stuff in the basement because that's a lot of what I did as a kid. So that's what I really wanted for my Sims because I think that'd just be so cute. So when you have a basement in the game, outside wall is in line or past the exterior walls of your house, it will cause that funky, like raised terrain. I don't know why. I think there are ways to go around it. I don't use basements enough to know the ways to go around it, but I should probably figure it out. And I think it has to do with a second floor basement, but again, I don't know. I'll if I figure it out, I'll let you know. I'll make a video about it. But I had to really mess with the landscaping to make it work. I use like a tool a lot to do it and everything. So also still really salty that my cow plant died. It's been a long time. I should be over it, but I'm not. I'm really salty about it. Also, in the middle of doing this build, I realized that somehow all of the items that I had saved from the previous build, like birth certificates and diplomas and artwork and things like that that I really wanted to save from the previous house, somehow got lost. And I don't know what happened to it. So I had to, I cut it out. I obviously cut it out. It took me like 30 minutes to do, but I undid every single thing in the build. Like I just did Control Z until it wouldn't let me do it anymore. And unfortunately, that didn't bring any of them back and had been gone for so long. So I actually ended up saving this build to my library, closing out without saving, or I ended up saving this build in my gallery. I saved as is, and so I saved as another save file and not in the actual Legacy Challenge save file. Went back into the save file and saved that house to my library, and then I took the items and also added the items to like a room and put on my library as well, so I had just those items. And then in the official save, I went back into my library to grab the house that I had saved previously and place it down, and then I would have all my items. So later you'll see I'll have, I don't know if I cut it out, but later you might see that me bringing that house in and fixing everything, like bringing up the little items back. But I might have cut all of that out, I'm not really sure. But here you'll see that also I completely changed the color scheme in a few minutes. Like it doesn't stay white. I don't know what I was thinking with like a white floor. Also, the floor is dirty because my Sims can never vacuum their floor, and apparently it brings it over from after you demolish the house. I also really regretted with the basement, because I love the basement. I love the basement clutter kit, but I really regret not saving the items from my previous house to put in the basement, and like having the old couch and like old chairs and like the old clutter bits that we still had. So really wish I did that. However, it's fine. I love the basement clutter kit, but I wish I did that because I think that would have been really cool. I might end up going back to doing that, but I'd have to like, I don't know if I still have the house. I might have removed it like the old house, but I'll have to see. But I think that could be really, really fun. And again, here you can see it's getting very, very sparse. Like we have just a kitchen table downstairs. We'll end up like a couch and maybe a TV. I don't even know if I can afford a TV, but you can see my budget's really, really getting down there with about 10,000 left. So I definitely am very close to running out of money. However, I do like how I did this bathroom with like the shower and the tub. I thought that was fun and clever. Don't know why I did it that way. Could not tell you, but I like how it turned out. I like how it did. But you can see here in my inventory is all of the items that I had like saved from like other points in the game, and then I had to bring in like the room from my gallery to actually get everything. And I think this point here is where I just cut, is where it happened. See here, I really wanted that like photo of Gacy, and I think that photo, the other painting, is a masterpiece. I think it was Connie's first masterpiece painting, which is why I kept it. However, I could be wrong. Despite them being my Sims and my Sims challenge, I genuinely could not tell you much about their lives. I just couldn't. I don't know why, but I can't. So I don't even know if I ended up going these couches. I'll have to be honest. I literally have no recollection. I did this like a week ago at this point, and I'm just I'm just as surprised as you are by what happens in these rooms. I will say I did change the pink bedroom. I think I made it blue in the end because I decided that Fallon was into like science and space. We talked about that in a few previous episodes, that she's more of sciencey, like STEM focused. So I decided to give her a space themed room, and you guys, oh my gosh, it turned out so cute. I can't wait to be able to like add more things to it, because I couldn't afford any more than like a bed and like a solar system light and like a dresser. But I can't wait to add more to it, because you guys, it's gonna be the cutest little space themed room, especially because with Growing Together we got some more space themed stuff, and there's just so many cute space themed things in this game that I just can't wait to have a full space themed bedroom. But that does mean I have to have my Sims make more money, and I don't know if I can have Jeb get a job because Connie is still in school and she has a whole semester left. So my Sims might be a little bit poor for the time being. I honestly am very scared about the whole bills situation that we're gonna end up with in the next episode, because I think we'll end up with some bills to pay, and I'm afraid that we're not going to be able to afford it because it's no longer a tiny home and there's some rather expensive furniture in here because I, again, like I said, forgot about my budget. And as you can see, like I have 3,000 simoleons to Ow! Um, okay, it's fine. I have 3,000 simoleons to finish this bedroom. It started out like pink and cute and like little girl, and I was like, this does not feel like Fallon to me. And I'm not used to having Sims to actually make rooms for, so I started with just like what I was feeling for the vibes, and I was like, you know what, this is not the vibes of my Sims, so let me change this and like make it work for her. And like I said, it ended up really, really cute. I had to get the friendship bracelet. Like I was like, I'm low on money, but I have to keep the friendship bracelet. And that is the build. I think she's pretty cute. I'm actually not gonna give you a tour in this speed build of it because I'm gonna give a tour in my Runaway Teen Challenge video on Wednesday. So be sure to come back for that video and I'll give you a tour of it there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below of any other builds you'd like to see me do as a speed build. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!